Good day, everyone. Welcome to today's episode of Bible Chatter. I'm your host, Eli Jr., and welcome to the show where the Bible and critical thinking come together to bring you Christian commentary that's important. I hope that you're all having a blessed morning. It's early morning. It's a little after midnight. I'm doing back-to-back shows tonight. I'm feeling a little bit better than usual. It doesn't happen that often, so I'm trying to crank out as many shows as I can. So I hope you're all doing better than I am, but I still trust that there's something bigger when I die. I'll be rewarded in the end for my loyalty and faithfulness to God, even though He's not answering any of my prayers. I'll have the ultimate reward in heaven for being loyal still. And that goes for all of you. Today's episode is titled Living in the Present. Living in the Present. And guys, we're getting dangerously cold weather, and they're talking about severe power outages for a lengthy period of time. So get prepared. Many of us spend a great deal of energy in the present moment dwelling on the past and the future. We know that the past is beyond our control, but we worry about it. We tend to believe the future belongs to us, yet we fret about what it holds and whether it will bring joy or pain. The gospel urges us to entrust both the past and the future to God. That mindset frees us to live for the Lord in the only moment we can, the present. Yes, there is an aspect of God's kingdom that is not yet. Its fullness hasn't yet arrived. But at the same time, we live in His kingdom here and now. In Hebrews 3:13, the call to encourage one another every day isn't just a suggestion. It's a vital practice for spiritual growth. We need the regular support of Christian brothers and sisters to help us successfully navigate each day's challenges and opportunities. Encouraging each other can be a beacon of light and hope to those around us. That's the author's focus in Hebrews 3:13. If we want to guard against our hearts being hardened by the deceitfulness of sin, we should give and receive encouragement. It is good to speak words of affirmation, hope, and accountability regularly, but even when offered just once, they can have a long-lasting effect far beyond the present moment. I would like to read that has to do with this passage for today that I'm talking about. I would like to read the book of Hebrews, chapter 10, verses 23 to 25. Well, actually, I'll read 22 to 26. Let us draw near with a true heart and full assurance of faith, with our hearts sprinkled clean from an evil conscience and our bodies washed with pure water. Let us hold fast the confession of our hope without wavering, for He who promised is faithful. And let us consider how to stir up one another to love and good works, not neglecting to meet together as is the habit of some, but encouraging one another, and all the more as you see the day drawing near. For if we go on sinning deliberately after receiving the knowledge of the truth, there no longer remains a sacrifice for sins. Now see, I just went over once saved, always saved. On Saturday, I did a special episode because I didn't do an episode all week. I've been sick. But people think that once you're saved, you're always saved and nothing can ruin it. But you can always fall away from God. And this passage even says, listen, for if we go on sinning deliberately after receiving the knowledge of the truth, basically once saved, always saved, and you feel like you have a free license to sin, like most churches teach now. There are no longer remains a sacrifice for sins, but a fearful expectation of judgment and a fury of fire that will consume the adversaries. So how can you be once saved, always saved? So nothing can. So if you go back to a sinful life and you fall away from the Lord, you mean to tell me that you're saved still because you were once a Christian? No, no, no. That's not how it works. And so many people are arguing with me on Facebook, but I don't argue. I just say, look, I feed them scriptures like this. And 2 Peter 2 verses 20 to 22 talks about accepting Christ and then falling away and losing your salvation. And they still didn't want to believe me. They were saying that that's not what that meant. That's directly what that meant. They just don't want to accept it because these people want to continue to live in sin. That's all it is. So they're justifying it. And churches do this because they tell people what they want to hear, so they have butts and pews donating money to the church, like Joel Osteen. So guys, live in the present and let Jesus handle the future, but make sure you're prepared for the future. This is Eli from Bible Chatter. I love you, and I'll see you next time.